morning, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Olson again. Welcome to Lesson 4, The Balance of Nature. First, let's revisit what we learned last time. This picture should give you a clue. What is a food web? You said that it is multiple food chains that overlap and form complicated patterns, then you were correct. Okay. What are trophic levels? Again, the picture should give you a clue. That's right, they're connecting steps in a food chain or web. When you look at our food pyramid here, you'll see that on the bottom you have your plants, in the middle your consumers, and on the top your top predator, usually a carnivore. On the energy pyramid, which group has the most energy? If you said the bottom level, the plants, you're correct. Which group has less energy? You're right. The top, very, very top, your carnivore has the least amount of energy. Here is your purpose for listening. Listen carefully to learn more about the balance of nature and to find out if your predictions were correct. You've learned that plants and animals share planet Earth, depending upon one another for survival. Animals and plants are all links in a chain of feeding habits. One organism eats another until the top predator dies and its decayed remains return to the soil, providing nutrients to start the whole cycle all over again. The ongoing regular completion of this energy cycle in food chains determines an ecosystem's ability to survive. All links need to be in place. Food chains are only one of the important cycles for life on Earth. Cycles are common in every ecosystem. What are some living and non-living cycles you have learned about? What non-living cycles do you see happening in this photo? As you can see by the arrows, rock-forming magma or lava cycles out from the Earth's mantle, spilling over the Earth, eventually becoming rock that breaks down, returning to the Earth's crust. In addition, water minerals and nutrients are all cycled through Earth's atmosphere. When the decomposers do their work, they are recycling carbon dioxide, water, and minerals. Plants in turn release oxygen, an important gas for all humans and animal life, into the air. As long as these cycles remain undisturbed, life continues in a balanced way. Everything distributed to living organisms and their surrounding environment in balanced proportions. Life on Earth is well adapted to the planet's cycles. Its cycles help to keep Earth in balance. Change is a normal part of life. Think of all the changes that you've experienced in your life. Hundreds and hundreds of changes. The same is true of our planet. It is constantly changing. Most of these changes are small, but sometimes changes to Earth's cycles affect all life on the planet, upsetting Earth's equilibrium. Ecosystems are not static, meaning they never stay the same. Rather, ecosystems change over time. All plant and animal species adapt to their environments. Like the desert cacti and the Arctic fox, many species have adapted in response to certain changes. In this image, the grass has adapted, which causes the lemmings to adapt as they eat it, which causes the fox to adapt as it eats the lemmings. In nature, these changes are generally gradual, slow. Conditions in the environment change very slowly over hundreds and thousands of years, allowing plants and animals to adapt gradually as well. When these changes occur slowly, the cycle of energy remains in balance or in equilibrium with nature. One stable condition gradually changes into another stable condition over a long period of time and with very few disruptions or disturbances to nature's cycles. This is called the balance of nature. All ecosystems need a variety of species at each trophic level to ensure the health of the whole community. Diversity, or a variety, in food webs increases the survival of each species, from the spiny cacti and deadly scorpions of the desert to the hairy apes and brightly colored toucans of the rainforest. The more varied the animal's diet, the stronger its chances of survival. Some animals have a very limited diet. Can you think of an animal that only eats one thing? The koala eats only eucalyptus leaves from the gum tree. The panda bear eats only bamboo. Imagine what happens if that one source is wiped out. Changes to one species in an ecosystem can affect the entire ecosystem. No food, no life. Think about it. Humans survive in large part because of having a varied diet. Humans eat many different things, meaning they are not dependent on one source for food. They are adaptable. This connection is dependent on the balance of nature. Think back to the energy pyramid. There are more insects than any other group of living organisms at the second trophic level of the energy pyramid. Insects are kept in balance by feeding one another as well as by feeding on plants. We sometimes think of insects as pests, yet they perform many important jobs. Bees are examples of important insects. They can deliver a painful sting, but we can depend upon their role in the food chain. Bees feed on nectar from flowers, pollinating plants to ensure the growth of new fruits and vegetables. Both the bee and the plants need one another to exist. They are an example of nature's wonderful balancing act. And animal populations are kept in balance by the amount of food available and by the predators in the food chain. For example, mice are usually plentiful on a farm. Mice feed on seeds. Seeds are most plentiful in the summer when rain is heavy and the vegetables grow in abundance. Mice eat more and have more babies in the summer. They also provide hawks and owls with more food during the summer months than in the winter months. Fewer seeds are available, and the mice tend to have fewer babies. That means that there are fewer mice for the hawks and owls to eat in the winter. These birds of prey have less to eat, so they tend to raise fewer young. Otherwise, they must move to new locations or risk starving to death. In this way, the animals balance nature. Mice have enough to eat, and so do the hawks and owls. The food chain is stable. So the seasonal cycles work together in the food chain cycles. Animal populations are naturally kept in equilibrium by the well-established food webs in nature. When an ecosystem becomes unbalanced or unstable, organisms react to these changes, often restoring the balance of nature and bringing the ecosystem back into equilibrium. This balance, however, is not always restored. Sometimes humans interfere. Cycles are disrupted, and unexpected consequences may result. For example, what happens if a farmer gets upset with the hawks and owls, believing that they are eating his chickens? He shoots them, destroying the natural predators of mice and other rodents. Without danger from these birds of prey, the mice scamper out into the fields and begin to eat more than their share of the farmer's crops. Nature is thrown off balance. There is disequilibrium. A problem begins as the mice begin to destroy the grasses and the first link in the human food chains. The white-tailed deer provide another example of animal overpopulation. White-tailed deer have lived in our forests for thousands of years and used to be kept in check by their predators, the coyotes, wolves, and mountain lions. Over the years, humans have killed these natural enemies of the deer, leaving the deer at the top of the food chain. Many more deer lived, resulting in an overgrown deer population. At the same time, humans made other changes in the deer habitats. Loggers entered the forest and cut down large areas of trees, leaving behind low-lying vegetation that deer love. With this new and plentiful food source, the deer did not have to work as hard to get food. Their populations grew and grew. Meanwhile, with all those logs cut from the forest, humans built new homes on the edge of the woods. Today, deer can easily wander out of the woods and be found foraging for vegetables and flowers in people's yards. Some people are angry. These animals, once known for their beauty, are now considered a problem instead. Humans build fences and plant foods that deer do not like, trying to discourage them to go back into the forest. But so far, the deer are winning the battle. Life in the forest is unbalanced, forcing changes all along the food chain. All right, changes to the ecosystem may be natural or caused by humans. Some changes are worse than others. Sudden changes are worse than natural. Gradual changes. When changes destroy plant and animal habitats, part of nature's balance is also destroyed. Be thinking about changes to the planet that might destroy animal habitats. I'll share some of those with you next time.